there, everybody. Welcome to Sucio Talk. This is episode 17. 17 with my main man, Jon Yao. Jon Yao is a one Michelin star chef out of LA. Everything about the guy is cool. You know what I mean? His restaurant's in a strip mall. He's got one Michelin star. He did it the way he wanted to do it. And not a lot of us can say that, you know? Not a lot of us can say that we literally had no chef mentors and we carved out a place amongst some of the best chefs in the country. So shout out to him for sure for being on the taking time out of his day to do the podcast. And I go to Kato, and I get there and I'm in the car. I get out. Brought the kitchen some beers, a little bit of weed, you know what I'm saying? Gotta represent. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking around and there's Chef Melissa King, I've only seen her on TV, so I'm not going to be a weirdo and walk up to the table and be like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm David from Sucio Talk, right? But I saw her, and then a little while later, they couldn't turn a table, basically. The table that was for me, couldn't turn it. The guest wanted to sit and drink there. And I think the best part about being an industry professional and going out to eat is the fact that you have a better knowledge of how things work, so you're much more flexible when it comes to issues. Whether they don't have a table for you or you have to wait a little longer for your food, whatever. You understand why those things happen. Chefs and servers don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what, tonight I'm going to fuck up somebody's dining experience. That's what I'm going to do. It's like, no, nobody goes into the day thinking that. Like, if most guests were at the restaurant before it actually opened, they'd probably be surprised at how much motivation goes on during the pre-meals and things like that. But, so thank you, John, for dinner. And as I'm sitting there, right, I start eating at the other restaurant, which tells you or speaks volumes to the relationship that Chef Jon Yao and Kato, the team over there, have with the restaurant next door. That while I was waiting, the server from the other restaurant asked me if I wanted water. I wasn't waiting long or anything like that. It wasn't like, but she just walked up to me. She said, oh, would you like some water? I'm like, there's not a lot of restaurants that are next to each other that are willing to help each other out like that. Most times the competition thing, like, or get your people off my dining room area. But maybe COVID softened some things up and people are realizing that we don't always need to fight over turf, So I started my meal in the Mexican restaurant next door, and then I finished it in the dining room at Kato outside, right? In the parking lot. They made a nice little raised dining room area. It's very nice. And then I see Chef Mylin come out. She had just enjoyed dinner there. And I was like, holy shit, she told me, she was talking about her fried chicken spot in LA, which apparently just, opens up with a line out the damn door, which is, what you want, So it's called Daybird. It's in Silver Lake. And that's Chef Mylin. I'm also talking to her about being on the podcast, so soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know when that will happen, but Daybird, check it out. Mylin's Casual Fried Chicken Sandwich Spot. If you need a job, head that way. Probably looking for people. She just opened. You know what I mean? It's hard to open and find good staffing. So I'm sure you just want to hang out and fry some chicken over there. I haven't had a chance to try it because right now my days off are Tuesday. So I wasn't in LA and I couldn't get over there. It was closed. So, but I saw her at dinner, which was very nice. I hadn't seen her since she dropped off a couple recipes for potluck over at Charter Oak. Met her and her sous chef at the time. Nice guy. So Mylin ended up sitting with me and having tea at Kato with me towards the end of my meal. It was a meat course. And then we just kind of chilled there. And then Chef John came out. talked a little bit, and then we went inside the restaurant. We sat right at the counter there, looking into the kitchen, sort of, and then just did the podcast right there in the restaurant. And that, to me, is very important. I feel like the stories behind the podcasts are, I'm not going to say better than the podcast, because then all the listeners are going to feel like you're robbing me. You're robbing me, son. But it speaks volumes. You know, I'm willing to do this podcast whenever, wherever, outside, inside. Question that I get a lot from people is, there's going to be some background noise. I hope that's not a big deal. In regular podcasting and everything you read, it's like, yeah, you don't want any outside noise. It's like, I welcome the chaos. I want to hear, somebody in the background going wild because their fish hasn't been delivered yet. It's not a staged thing. It's real. Just like when the siren went off on what's his name? The Harborside CEO episode. I think it was episode 11. I'm pretty sure. His name is escaping me right now, and I feel so bad because I had him on the fucking podcast. Andrew D'Angelo. God damn it, that's his name. I knew his fucking name. All right. Get mad at myself, man. You have a mental Rolodex. You only have enough space in there for so many people, and then I'm trying to meet everyone. I'm trying to hang out and be friends with everyone, right? So I have to expand that horizon a little bit and start kind of practicing to remember names immediately. Because I'm one of those people who I'm like, hi, I'm David, and then they say their name, and then 2 seconds later I'm like, holy shit, what'd they say? I guess because I'm more interested in starting the conversation with them than I guess for me, put it this way, there's a lot of Davids in this world, right? There's a lot of people that share the same name. All of those people are not as interesting as one another, right? And let's go on the Dave scale real quick, right? Dave number 1 is dull. He doesn't like to have fun. He's not serious by any means. He just has sort of a void of emotion. Then you got Dave 5. He is mixed emotion, but it is shown. Then you got Dave 10, right? Dave 10 is all the way one side or all the way the other side. Just fucking, kicking some ass. I got Jon Yao is actually sending me messages right now as I get this podcast all started. So basically the way it is, guys, is I record the episodes. Then the morning of the drop, I'll get on here, intro, any new things coming up, things like that. So I've been having a little bit of trouble getting his picture because it didn't come through my email. So I asked him to send it again, and he sent it through Instagram. And I said, yo, you were just one sexy motherfucker. And then he's like, you too, Chef. So there we go. We got Chef Love in the house. All good. I got 3 podcasts I'm doing tomorrow. An SF driving up and checking it out. I got Petra from Caviar Co. on the show. I got Joseph Geiskoff. I guess I'm going to say his name like that. He's in between right now, but he'll be letting me know his new projects. And Nick Muratore up in Yachtville. So super excited to go up there and do 3 podcasts in one day. That's the record right now. So hopefully one day I can do 5. And the goal at the end of the day, obviously, is to have a restaurant and have a team and be a motherfucking chef. But also have a podcast that allows me to travel all over the world, meet new chefs, meet new people, young professionals, old professionals, everybody that wants to work hard and play harder and just enjoy life. And that's the goal right now, is just to get this podcast up off the ground. So I ask of you, anytime you're listening on Spotify, anytime you're listening to Sucio Talk, put it in your story. Let people know so they can also listen, right? If you enjoy it, chances are there's a couple more people out there that enjoy it. I'm trying to go worldwide. You know what I mean? So without further ado, I'm going to stop this this intro here. Also shout out to Nikki Reginaldo. She is the GM at Kato, and it's actually kind of cool. During the interview, like I'm interviewing John, and then halfway through, she was in the dining room doing paperwork, and there was some things we needed to know from her, so she came up and joined the podcast. So really, it's a two-parter, but they're a very humble team. They're ambitious. They're hungry, and I can't wait till they get to where they want to go. Which for a lot of these restaurants is the end is never there. So shout out to all of you who have messaged me over the past couple weeks, just letting me know, hey, I love the show. I want to shout out Mans Diener hit me up. He's a fellow Rhode Islander, and he was thrilled that Jake Rojas and Derek Wagner got their podcast done, and he had a great time listening. And he says, "I wish I knew about this earlier." So that brings me back to the point of get it out there, people. Let motherfuckers know about Sucio Talk. Let them know we exist. Let them know that episodes are coming out every week, regardless of if I have a guest or not. There'll probably be a couple weeks where I take off here and there, depending. But the goal is to have 52 episodes by November, right? That's one a week for a year. I started in November. If I can get 52 episodes by November, I think we'll be all right. We're episode 17 right now. It's March. And this time last year was a fucking rough patch. And it lasted a whole year. And right now we're starting to get out of that. So I want everybody just to remember where you're at. Stay strong. All right? It's not over. Okay? Just because it's 2021, it's not over, baby. We got way more to go. Way more things that need to be improved upon, and the way we treat each other and all that. But I think we're getting there. And I know I just ended this intro and then started ranting again, so I'm going to stop. All right, you enjoy your commutes or whatever the hell you do while you listen to Sucio Talk. Everyone put it out there. You listen to Sucio Talk on your Spotify or Google Podcasts, iTunes. I'm on Podchaser. Spreaker is the main one. I just got on this thing called Bullhorn. I'm on Bullhorn as well. So call your local cable company and tell them that you want to subscribe to Sucio Talk, okay? Enjoy the show, episode 17. I'll see you next week with the CEO of Caviar Co., Petra. Thank you very much. Enjoy. All right, so, Chef Jon Yao. I just sat down for dinner at Kato here in San Francisco. I'm fucking. So, let me back up. All right. So this is Sucio Talk, episode 17. My man Jon Yao just cooked me a delicious dinner here at Kato in L.A. All right. Chef, how are you?
Good.
Fuck yeah. It's delicious dinner. He already told me he's bad at podcasting, so let's see if we can.
I'm trying my best.
It's fucking. You don't gotta try. It's Sucio Talk. So, Chef, how you been?
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
We just reopened post-pandemic, so.
Yeah. Are you good? You think you're gonna open your indoors soon?
Yeah, we're gonna do indoors in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When everyone has their second doses and it kicks in.
Okay. So tell me this: were you open outside before COVID?
We were not.
Do you think you're gonna continue this?
I mean, I hope so. Because indoor, it's capped at 25%, so I think along with outdoor, we'll be able to reach numbers pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know if our landlord
will allow that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many parking spots has that gone? Like 4 or 5?
I mean, it's a handicap ramp. It's like it's an ADA ramp.
Oh.
But there is another one in the plaza. There's 2 more in the plaza, just so we don't get in trouble. But it's 1 spot and an ADA ramp.
Okay, got you. I mean, honestly, it looks great. I think they should
you.
just build another fucking ramp and keep it like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because in my experience with this COVID shit, it's almost like the restaurants have doubled their seating.
Yeah.
Like, if you were able to do this inside and out, like, what is that? How many seats is that for you?
I think we could, because before COVID, we were doing maybe 45 to 60, and I think we could probably break like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70 for sure.
Very cool. So, we're going to go all the way back to when you were a little niño, all right? Let's talk about where you grew up, where you were born.
I grew up in Walnut, California. It's...
Walnut, California?
Walnut, yeah, not
like
Walnut.
Not Creek.
Not Walnut Creek. Walnut Creek is in NorCal.
So Walnut is the south.
Yeah, that's how
You got me crazy here. Walnut, California. Here we go.
That's how I know you're from the Bay, because everyone's like, Walnut Creek? No. It's it's in Walnut. It's like 30 miles east of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Did you grow up coming to Los Angeles a lot?
Yeah, my parents are interior designers still.
Okay.
And they came to downtown for a lot of like textiles and like manufacturing. So
yeah.
They had a lot of partners that they worked with down here. So I was in LA like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. This business that they were in it before you were born. Like, they've always been doing this?
Yeah. I think my parents studied different things in college before they came over, but they just fell into this because it was good money at the time, and they ended up being good at it. So,
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So, do you go back and visit family?
Yeah, I'm really close with my parents now, but not during COVID.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them much during COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How many times?
Maybe like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, it's got to be hard.
Yeah.
And then every time you see them, it's like a month of quarantine time.
Yeah.
You know?
So now, like, we're at the restaurant so often, like, I can't go and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we had dogs at home, but now it's just a dog, so
yeah.
I can't even, like, go back and see my dog.
Is that because of them or you? Are you like, I'm not going back, or are they like, stay the fuck away from us?
I don't want to go back.
I got you.
Because, like, it's not going to get me. Like, we survived this long. It's not going to be us. That's the wrong fucking attitude to have.
That makes sense. Man, I don't know. If you... there was this comedian that got it, and he was like a really healthy dude. And his mom also got COVID. And it turns out, like, he was in the hospital. He had to almost be put on a ventilator. And his mom got COVID. She was fine. And then she's like, well, maybe you should just, like, eat some fried chicken once in a while. And, like, eat unhealthy and smoke a cigarette or 2. And you'll be fine.
Yeah, because it's not going to make a difference
That's
either.
what I mean. So, I mean, I think, after all these years, all those crime-fighting bacteria they've picked up.
For sure.
They got you.
If you've eaten something off a kitchen floor, you're safe from COVID.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've done that more times than I'd like to admit. But, in my thinking, it's like, well, the only thing that's been on here is food, and then more food. Like, that's it,
And feet, I guess.
Yeah.
outside.
Well,
outside
I mean,
feet.
Well, if you think about it that way, it's disgusting, John. But I think I like my way better.
This is a good story. I like how all your other ones are like articulate and composed, and this one's so crazy.
Who
You're
gives
just
a
talking
fuck?
about fucking feet and floors.
Eating shit off kitchen floors. It's all good. Somebody will find some inspiration out of this somehow.
Like, I should definitely eat some shit off the floor.
So, now, you're young growing up. Were you interested in food, or what was your relationship with food and your parents say? Like, was there were they cooking, or were they going out to eat?
So, my parents had the typical, like, immigrant story, like, they worked a lot. So, I was either at daycares, or, like, after-school programs, or I was at home alone, so...
Yeah.
I grew up, like, making food for myself a lot.
Yeah.
But if my parents did come home, like, for dinner or whatever, they would, like, make, like, the full spread.
Yeah.
Like, what is it called? There's, like, a Chinese phrase that's 3 dishes, 1 soup. Mm-hmm. Like, to a Chinese person, it's like
that's a
meal. Like, 3 whole dishes, rice, and then soup. Yeah, so when my mom cooked often, she would make like the whole spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
My mom's a very good cook. Yeah.
What sort of dishes was she cooking?
She would make Chinese food, Taiwanese food. Yeah, just a lot of different stuff. But we also ate out a lot too. I feel like if I did get to spend time with my parents, like we'd go out and eat. Yeah. Yeah, it was very food centered.
Did they want to go out and eat Chinese food, or did they want to eat like Americanized food? Like were they down to go to a Chili's? You know,
we never ate not never, but we didn't eat too much like American type foods.
Got you.
Maybe like if it was convenient at the time, or like
was fast food outlawed in your family, or could you?
Oh no, we loved fast food.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, my dad always jokes. He's like, man, like I was so skinny. He was like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
When he came to America, and he's like, then I discovered like Coca-Cola's everywhere here. Like McDonald's are everywhere.
He's just like, I'm eating the shit
like,
out of everything, so bro. I mean, dude, $1 for a hamburger? Like,
yeah, that's hard to beat.
There's no other bargain in this life that will be better than that, you know? So, cheers to McDonald's. So at that point, did you think, like, oh, I want to be a chef? Or did you just say, I fucking like eating. I like going out to eat. I like, you know.
I was a pretty chubby kid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm, like, fit now, but... Like, I was definitely a chubby kid, and food was just, like, I always wanted to eat. Like, I think the first thing I tried cooking for myself was eggs.
Yeah.
So at home, I would, like, cook eggs, like, every type of way. I would just, like, try to, like, perfect, like, the fried egg.
Well, at least you were doing it on a stovetop, man. I go over to my boy Louie's house, and he would just cook them in the microwave.
I wish I tried that.
Dude, it's fucking 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and they would basically cook and then try to blow up, and then that's when you take it out, fork it up, scramble it, and then put it back in. Another 10. So, damn, thinking about those microwaved eggs got me off topic. What were you
like a scarring moment.
I'm like, no, Louie, no. So, when did your interest in food start then? When are you like, hey, this could be something that I want to do? Or did you have other interests and other things you were doing when you were a child? Sports?
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of basketball when I was a kid.
Really?
Like, it was just basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I was this height when I was in, like, 6th grade.
Okay.
Like, everyone thought I was going to be a beast. Like, I was, like, a power forward when I was in 6th grade. Everyone's like, yo, this kid's it. And then 7th and 8th grade, I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm still the fucking same height.
Right? And then 9th and 10th grade came around, and you're like, this is it. My basketball career is ruined.
We're done.
There wasn't no, like, Allen Iverson did it.
No, for sure. I mean, Jeremy Lin's like, what, like 6'5"?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, fuck, man. So basketball is pretty serious. How was your parents with your schooling?
Very strict, like typical East Asian household.
For sure.
I mean, I was just having this conversation the other day, but, like, looking back, like, they came here very young. And the only thing they know is, like, dude, my kid has to be, like, doctor or accountant or lawyer or something. But you're in a new place. You don't necessarily know what it takes to, like, go up in social classes or, like, take your kids to the next level. They just know, like, oh, like, study for your SATs. Like, they have no other ins than, like, studying hard, you know? My parents were pretty serious about that. So, like, my parents sometimes weren't, like, or most of the times weren't able to pick me up after school because they work so much. So it's, like, always, like, test prep or, like, some sort of, like, tutoring.
And did you enjoy that?
Oh, no. I was not a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I would ditch, like, all the time.
Okay, got you. Because I pictured you being like, fuck yeah, love school.
No, you know, I fucking hated school. I was a bad student. I was a bad kid.
Okay, got you. So at that point, bad kid to the point where your parents are like, oh no.
No, not like I was the type of kid where I tested really well.
Yeah,
but I didn't do any work.
Fucking poorly.
So it would kind of even out, right? It's like testing A, homework D, and it's like just you hit like a C+.
Yeah, it's all good. I've done the grade shuffle before.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you're like, all right, how much effort do I actually have to put into this paper?
Yeah,
for it to be valid. So again, getting to this, the root of your cooking here. When does it start for you? When are you like, you know?
I mean, you're bored at home in high school and like smoking weed or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, like fried chicken looks awesome. let's try making this ourselves.
Okay.
But I never had a restaurant job till the college summers, where I was just at this like local hot pot restaurant as like a dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
I would wash dishes, like cut whatever vegetables.
Yeah.
And also be a waiter. But no one ever came, and it wasn't in an Asian neighborhood, and people didn't know how to eat hot pot. And I just remember like, man, like these pots are so gross to clean, because they would just boil everything down.
Yeah.
It's like stuck on the bottom. It was so awful. But that was my first restaurant job. But I was like, man, this is like pretty awesome. You're just like dicking around food, and
no
like,
one
gives a fuck.
Yeah. There's music. There's fucking
music.
people swearing at you.
Yeah.
So that doing that dishwashing job, obviously you're in college. What are you in college for? What do you think your life is going to be, basically?
My parents were like, you should be a lawyer. And I was like, yeah, I should be a lawyer.
You're like, let me just go do what you want me to do.
So I have a bachelor's of science in anthropology.
Okay.
Because that was like the top 5 majors for critical thinking when you take your LSATs.
Yeah.
And I did well in college. I didn't do amazing in high school, but I did well in college.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, you don't have to go to class. You're just reading. And
Yeah.
So I I just got my degree, and after that, I told my parents, like, I want to take the summer off before I look for whatever job.
Yeah.
And then I staged at a restaurant. But, like, up until that point, I was doing, like, I had, like, a paralegal job. I, like, got my real estate license. I was, like, scalping, like, concert tickets. I just did a bunch of stuff.
You're just hustling, making a little bit of money.
But I think when I did that first stage, I was like, I want to give this like a real shot.
Where did you stage?
I staged at a restaurant in downtown LA. I was doing like a Californian like tasting menu kind of thing.
What sort of were the first things that drew you in? Like ingredient-wise, culture-wise, chef-wise? Was there a person, a cook or something that you maybe saw and were like, oh?
I think it was like, I grew up eating well. Like when you go out and eat, like my family had a lot of different types of Asian food, and my dad had a lot of good food knowledge, and my parents both had really good food experiences. And then we would eat certain things, and my dad would be like, well, that's good because it's blah, blah, blah. We ate like a lot of seafood when I grew up. So my parents would always be like, well, this is how you eat seafood. You don't need to put lemon or all that shit. Like, a Dungeness crab is perfect on its own.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, this is great. So when I started staging in that restaurant, like, I was like, man, like, I get to touch all these different ingredients and I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like crab, sea urchin, caviar. And it's like, wow, like, you mean I could just like play with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesm.
So you stage at this restaurant, and then you say you want to pursue it. What do you do after that?
Well, yeah. Then I was like, it wasn't the hardest place to be at, so I was kind of like, okay, let's go stage in San Francisco. So after that stage, I just did whatever I could to make money to move. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to San Francisco for a year and staged too.
Mm-hmm. Where did you stage there?
I staged at Bennu for a few months,
okay.
And then I spent the rest of my year at Qua and then came back.
Got you.
Yeah.
So when you were at Bennu, what sort of jobs did they have you doing? Like, did you get to be on the hotline at all, or did you just stay sort of in the prep?
So, like, it's like during the daytime, you're like doing a bunch of prep, and it's like mostly like knife cuts.
Yeah.
And then at night you would like watch service, and then it was cool. But it's like as much as any stage is, right? Like you're just kind of like watching, absorbing.
You kind of
go
feel
get this,
useless.
Yeah.
You know.
You feel very like minute, but it was like that was probably one of the greatest experiences ever. You just see how like one of those kitchens operate.
Yeah, for sure.
But I knew I wanted something a little more hands-on, and I had that stage at Qua lined up.
Yeah. And how did that differ from Bennu?
It was less structured and less detailed.
Uh-huh.
But when I went, like, so day one I went, and they were like, okay, you're assigned to this guy to help him do his station. Uh-huh. And then day two he fucking quit.
So you're on the station.
Not because of me, but so it was great because they were just like, well, do you want to do it? And I was like, sure. But at that point, you're not really processing like, oh, I'm not getting paid to do this. But it's a great experience. I spent like, it was like half a year doing that station.
Yeah. So you literally worked the station at Qua, unpaid.
As a stage.
For 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, I loved whatever, dude. That's
it, yeah.
Fucking, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I never looked at it like that until we're talking about it. No.
I just love that they're like, that it was so enticing that you just worked there for 6 months. You're like, yeah, well, I'm working on this station. I'm on this station. Who was the chefs there at the time?
It was Daniel Patterson.
Gotcha.
And then they basically have 4 stations. It was me, Jordan, Brent, and then Matthew Kirkley was the 4th.
Oh.
That was during his time of leading up to
his
tenure.
So you're basically CDPs along with Matt Kirkley.
It was pretty fucking crazy. He was like behind you, and you're like, this guy's crazy. I know it, but I don't know. Like, I'm not experienced enough to know like what that situation is.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he's just like, how was working with him? Because I know he's like a pretty intimidating dude.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super. Because when I was there, like, I was just like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, whatever anyone says to you, you're just like, I come from an East Asian household. You're like, I don't want to say beaten, like, but you're like scolded, like you have like.
John, it's okay, dude. Nobody's gonna come after your parents. They beat the shit out of John. All right.
But you're from an East Asian household, like, you're like, what? Like, this is nothing. Like, of course you're just like, okay, yeah. But it was awesome. Yeah.
It's crazy. So what are the stations? I know that probably fucking Matthew told me about this shit, but
there's 2 cold and then 2 hot.
Got you. And the grill being like the main one.
Yeah.
Was it always that kind of cuisine there? Since the beginning? It was always like the fire cooking,
When I was there, it was like 2 or 3 dishes off.
Got
the grill,
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How many courses on the menu?
I don't remember.
What year is this?
2015? 2016?
Got you.
I wish I remembered more about the experience, but when you're in the moment, and I was like, really, I hadn't been in that environment for long enough. You're just kind of like
embracing all of it.
You're just kind of like absorbing everything that comes your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at that point you're inexperienced, so you don't know what you need to remember.
Because not only was I restaurant inexperienced, at that point I'm life inexperienced too. You know, I'm like 24.
Yeah.
Just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like just trying to like strap it together and like do what you can.
Mm-hmm. And after that time at Qua, did you ever consider working there full time?
Yeah. Because they were like, do you want to just stay?
Yeah.
Past, because the kitchen's going to flip. It's going to be something different. And at the time, I was like, I really wanted to go to Cezanne.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, because that was something that really interested me. And then it didn't pan out, and like, it was like a financial thing. And I kind of just thought, okay, well, I was in like a difficult lease to get out of, and I was just like, I don't think I can handle like this whole financial thing. So I just came back to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you. So you come back to LA, and are you actively looking for cooking jobs, or what are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to move.
Thinking? You're trying to move.
I'm trying to move to like Europe or like Hong Kong.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you have contacts in Hong Kong, or are you just like, I'm moving to Hong Kong, baby?
No, but like,
fuck yeah.
You realize at the point of this story, you're like, holy shit, you were so naive at the time, because I was like, yeah, like I want to have that same experience, but like elsewhere where I'm like out of my comfort zone and I maybe don't speak the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a great way to do it, man.
Yeah.
I think sometimes being naive is an amazing gift.
For sure.
You know?
I always say that too.
You just fucking do whatever it is without thinking of the consequences, or like, you know, and chances are, I mean, it got you where you are today, right?
For sure.
It wasn't fucking negative.
But I was like so unaware. I was like, there's like visa issues, and like I'm realizing this like maybe 2 months after I moved back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I should have just fucking stayed. I had an in, and I was like, I should have just fucking stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then going through that now, what do you say to yourself at this point? You're like, well, I should have stayed. I didn't do that.
But I mean, I don't try to look at life like what I didn't do. So I just accepted it. I was like, well, I just have to do the best I can moving forward. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to know that because, you know, for me, I would have probably been like, all right, well, let me at least try to go back there.
Yeah.
You know, like, or
I thought about that.
Yeah,
too.
you know, and it's the easy thing to do, but it's good to choose the hard way too. You know? And what was your next step?
So I was thinking New York because I was like no visa. I just did the same thing because when I first got a stage in LA, I was a college grad. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna print a handful of my resumes because I wrote a really, in my mind, what I thought was a great cover letter because I have no culinary experience, didn't go to cooking school, I have a bullshit degree. I just knocked on every door, passed them out, and nobody called me back except for that restaurant I staged at. Yeah. So I did the same thing after I came back. I was just like, let's try this out again. So I just went to every restaurant. Like no one called me back. So I just started cooking at home for my friends. I was like, do you guys just want to like throw me like $35 each? And then I'll just make some stuff that I had in my mind or like some stuff I learned, and it'll be fun. It's just like you coming out to hang out, but you're covering my costs. Yeah. So I just started doing that. And then my parents and their family friend had found this restaurant right now because our family friend was a professor at the time of UCLA, and he had a lot of incoming like foreign East Asian students. Yeah. They were missing like home cooked food, and my mom was a great cook, and like sometimes she would cook when they had visiting students. So they're like, let's do those lunch boxes that you do. Yeah. But, like, let's do it out of a storefront, like, have a whole operation going, because it could be really good. Yeah. And they got this location.
Whoa. So, they get this space, and are they thinking, we're going to get this space, and Jon's going to be the chef there?
They weren't.
Okay.
But then they got the space.
Got you. And then
they're like, oh, shit, it's not just... You go to the supermarket, buy what you need for the day, and make the food. Yeah. And my mom at the time, this is like exactly almost 5 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, they signed the lease like this week, 5 years ago.
Full circle.
But my mom at the time was super young, but then she had back problems like maybe a year after that, and I was like, oh my gosh, you could have never done this by yourself. No. So I was like, okay, I'm still going to try moving, but now I have a way to consistently earn money. Yeah. So I was like, let's treat this like a fast casual, right? Like where you're doing SOPs. Yeah. For the entire kitchen. It's not like, It's not like you're doing tasters every day. It's just like, this is the recipe. You just make it every day. Yeah. So I was like,
these recipes, when you're making them, is this you just sort of knowing more or less where you want to go and weighing the ingredients out, writing it down, and kind of R&Ding it that way, changing amounts, or are you using recipes from your parents? Or
I was trying to approximate food that my mom made me. She would just be like, "Here, make this. Like we'll do it together, and we'll like try making this."
Got you.
But it never even came to that point. It was just all talking. Like we were just brainstorming how we were gonna do this, because after, like, they were buying kitchen equipment and stuff, there's only one two-door refrigerator and two lowboys, and then one lowboy freezer and one one-door freezer. So it's like we could not store enough food to do, like, 250 lunch boxes a day. Yeah. And we had nowhere to put them. Like, we had nowhere to put anything, basically. Yeah. And this was, like, something else we stress test during the pandemic because we were trying to do to-go. Yeah. And I was just thinking back, like, man, if we tried doing this lunchbox, we would go out of business so fast. Yeah. At the price points that we were aiming for. Yeah. So it went from wanting to do, like, lunchboxes and to-goes to them wanting to do like those Taiwanese personal style hot pots.
Yeah.
Where you have a small flame and you just eat it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't know if that would ever fly here.
Yeah.
Like this west of LA. And that got scrapped too. And then we went through so many ideas because the space was just so restricting, right? You're just thinking like, I can fit X amount of seats, like possibly 50 people a night. Like, how are we going to make enough money from 50 people a night to sustain the rents, blah, 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 like rising labor costs.
Yeah.
So.
And at this point, it's you and your mom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had hired nobody.
That's the start.
Space was empty.
Yeah.
Like, my parents at the time still had their furniture manufacturing place.
Yeah.
So we were like building these tables, building like the side, like building these shelves. So we were slowly putting it together, but we still didn't know what to do. And then our family friend was like, "Isn't John at home doing like whatever his little food thing at home? Like, why don't you guys try it out here for a weekend?" And then
so you did a pop-up in your own parents' restaurant.
Yeah, that
you had to prove yourself to them.
It wasn't even proof. We just like we were just like, yo, we gotta make money.
We need an idea. We gotta make money. Let's do this.
We're paying rent.
Yeah.
We need to make money.
And then you're like, I'll fucking do this.
And then we're like, let's just do it for fun. Let's just try it out and see how it is. And then we had a friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I told you, we do like around 40 to 60 covers in here.
Yeah.
And then we did like 120 that day.
No way.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was just so many people, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, wow, that great success, right? But it's like, it's a false test, right? It's not reality. These people are all your friends. Of course, they're gonna bring all of their friends for free food.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, we're good. And then that was when like geotags on Instagram were first becoming a thing. Like, not a lot of people were using it, or people didn't know how to utilize it correctly.
Yeah.
And then we had leftover food, so we were like, okay, like we'll just serve this menu for this week, run out of the food, figure out what to do next. And then next week we did like a tasting menu just to like, okay, we have to get rid of all of this, so we'll just do a tasting menu of like 5 dishes and get rid of our pantry and then figure out what to do moving forward. And then Eater picked it up. And then
how many?
We were super booked.
So this is like
isn't a
2-3 weeks.
No, this is a span of a week.
What the fuck?
This is a span of a week.
So
soft opening Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday we had a break.
Yeah.
And then I think Monday we started doing the tasting menu to clear our pantry.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like on a Wednesday, someone from Eater emailed and like, "Hey, we heard you were doing a tasting menu. Are you a new tasting menu restaurant?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
like for this week, I guess." And then we were booked solid for like 3 months, and I was like, "Fuck." And at that point, we had our CDC Dara here. He came on as a waiter.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, "Well, I'll help you out. Like, obviously, you need help because." In the beginning, it was just me and him.
Yeah.
It was just me and him and like our friend that was like, "I'll be a manager," because I was trying to be a manager at a Boiling Crab. I'll help you guys out. So at first we just had a bunch of people that worked at Boiling Crab helping us out, and then me and Dara, and we had no idea what the fuck we were doing. Like the only experience I had was
the stages.
Yeah. And like this ball just kept on, like it was like this momentum. Like I think 3 weeks after, like okay, well, the first week before the review, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's nobody here. It's, like, dead empty. And then we get saved by the Eater thing.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks after, LA Weekly, when they're doing reviews again, did a review on us, and we got 3 stars. I don't know how to put it in terms... Like, most restaurants get 2, and then we got 3. I was like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. It becomes like this monster, right? Like, you can't really stop it.
So at this point, you're like, I gotta hire somebody.
Yeah, well, I was like, we have to hire people.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, even now, just in general, I'm like, I'm not fit to be like a leader
a
like
fucking
that.
leader, yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning everything on the fly. Like we're doing most things ourselves. I'm like Googling how to lead people, how to be a positive,
how to be a chef.
Yeah,
How to
how to be like a good workplace motivator. So we're like just doing.
Did it help
all
you
this.
out doing that? Googling that?
No.
Okay. That was it. I thought you were gonna say yes.
I was just trying my best, you know. Like at my core, I'm like, dude, I come from like a good, reasonable family. Like my grandparents are honest, kind people. My parents are incredibly kind. They'll put a stranger before themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So my baseline was just like, you know what, just be a good person. So we just did that. But I mean, most people came and they're like, what the fuck? What is this?
Yeah,
like, you don't know what you're doing.
I bet, yeah.
And I'm like, I understand this isn't for you, but you don't have to like...
You don't have to shit on it.
Yeah, it's not a reflection of like me as a person. It's just like, it's what I know. It's the only thing I know at the moment. So.
Yeah. Is this coming from cooks that were working out of other places, or like just...
I mean, like, I would hire, like... We would try hiring everybody, you know, like whoever would give us a chance. I'm like, you know, I'll just try it out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. We're not making enough, like a lot of money at that point, you know. Like I hadn't made money for like the first like 2 years, you know. Like it was just really hard to find that kind of like staff. So I'm just like doing it myself. I'm like,
yeah. Whoa. So how did you go about finding staff?
Just like Craigslist.
Like you never fucking done this before. You just put a Craigslist out.
Yeah.
And who was your first sort of team that you started seeing like, okay, we're getting somewhere?
I had a friend that graduated from a hospitality program from Cal Poly Pomona, and he went to school with some people. So I was like, dude, you got to help me out. Like, it's just me and Dara right now. We're dying. And then he was like, yeah, like, I have some people. So we just found like 2 people we ended up being really close to. They weren't like spectacular by any means, but we were just all just friends. I think the common denominator for every set of team that we've had is just like we get along and it's like easy to hang out.
Yeah.
And then we found Nikki, our GM. She came in probably, what was it, like under a year? Yeah, somewhere under a year. Like, thank God we found Nikki, because Nikki was this like sort of rigor, and like she's what binds all of us.
Can
you know?
Nikki come over here and be part of this right now? I want to know. I want to know what's up. So Nikki, before you showed up here, what made you want to show up here and work here? This place has been open less than a year, and it is what it is. And you look at it and you say,
"Yeah, well, me and John actually knew each other before." Yeah.
Okay.
Me and John are both from the San Gabriel Valley.
Okay.
So I knew John high school, college.
I've known Nikki's boyfriend since senior year of high school.
Okay.
So I knew that he was opening a restaurant.
Yeah.
But it was just more, we were acquaintances rather than friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. I just graduated from college with a hospitality management degree. So I was like looking for something in hospitality. My mentor at the time was the operations manager at Disneyland, so it was either be a area manager at Disneyland or try something myself that I knew that I wanted to kind of own.
Like
my own space.
Yeah,
Disneyland was always kind of like a little bit too bright and shiny.
I hear you. I hear you.
I couldn't be like as squeaky clean as they wanted to be. Like,
and also they roast their employees over there.
Exactly. I have a few friends there that went the Disney route, and they're like smiling, but like tears are rolling.
Exactly. So sad.
I'm trying to like explain it in like the nicest possible way. Like you really have to love Disney in order to like, be a part of it.
Sure.
And it just wasn't really me. And I feel like I saw Kato, and I saw it was like kind of carving out this space of its own. And when I came here, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so small. Like, I love it. Oh my gosh, they're doing that. Yeah, I like that. Oh, they're doing.
We're like a garage band.
Yeah, basically, it was. Basically
but she was repping you.
Yeah.
And that's what you needed.
When it first came here too, it was just like very like the energy of it. Like I just needed to put a little bit more like softness into the dining room. You know what I mean? Like the vibe of it was different, but it wasn't bad. If that makes sense.
Because we had 2 previous managers that were just super intense. It was super fucking intense. And I was like, at some point, I was like, oh my god.
They weren't intense. They were just very like they came. This was the first technical restaurant job that I ever had in my life. So I basically owned how to like manage, owned how to like create a space here. Mm-hmm. So everything at Kato is always kind of like a first-hand, like, I guess, storytelling from Jon's side and my side when it comes to the front and the back.
Because we grew up here pretty much.
Yeah.
We made our mistakes here.
I literally never worked I've never worked at a different, like, I've worked at boba shops, but every Asian American girl has done that, you know? Every Asian American girl in high school has worked at either a yogurt shop or a boba shop, and I went the boba shop route, so... Like, we wanted to keep that kind of feeling of... There's a certain feeling in San Gabriel Valley that is just... Like, you go out with your friends, you go get boba, like, you go to this specific, like, place with the popcorn chicken, and we wanted to kind of create that sense of, like, elevation and that sense of, like, nostalgia here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was at that time, like, we really developed that... You want to sit?
Yeah, pull it up.
We really had that identity of, like, you'll be mean to us and you'll hate us or whatever, but we're like, fuck it, dude. Like, we're still nice to you. We're still trying to be hospitable. People were dicks to us.
I bet.
A lot of people were very upset, and obviously, like, we just, like, have the whole aspect of, like, kill them with kindness kind
what
of
are
situation.
things that they would get upset about?
It was just, like, weird. Like, a lot of people... kind of
I feel like we're young.
Yeah.
We're young and we didn't have experience.
So it was like, who are these motherfuckers like with a tasting menu like from San Gabriel Valley? Like they're like 23 years old. Like,
yeah. I get you.
But it wasn't our intention to do a tasting menu and be like snobbish about it. It was just we were making do with like limited resources. We didn't have a lot of space. It was easy to dictate and like easy to predict how much money you were gonna make.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people too that would compare us to like mom and pop shops in the San Gabriel Valley, which is not really, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah,
that's what people would do. It's like either people put us against like really crazy tasting menu restaurants or like a Cantonese seafood restaurant. I'm like, we're not either.
They'd be like French Laundry, Kato.
It doesn't compare. Because we were charging like $48 at the time. I was like,
it was like a very like beautiful tasting menu at the time, and I could get this fish for like $3 in San Gabriel Valley. I'm like, okay, we're sorry. We don't know.
We never got mad at people. And we're always apologizing. And it's like, I feel like there's like a sense of humility with the entire staff all the time. Like, we're just always sorry.
We were just always so upset that people didn't like us.
We're always like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, the overwhelming feeling of inadequacy was like prevalent among the entire staff. It infected each person, and I feel like we were always just like, please like this.
Please love us.
It was just a thing too where we took a lot of things really personally in the beginning. How could you not when
for sure. I mean, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and that's I think the hardest challenge in being a chef and being in this industry.
For sure.
Not taking it too personal, because you're literally putting your heart and your love out there in the dining room. And
we're still technically a mom and pop shop too, so a lot of the things that we do, like a lot of things that happen here, like it's literally like our life.
And do you foresee expanding or moving location? Or?
Yeah, we're trying to move right now. Yeah.
Got you. Because you won't even keep this at all for anything.
I think we will for something. Maybe like just to give someone else the chance that we had. Yeah. To like come into their own here.
It'd be hard to like.
You know what? Space. That is a great way to look at it. Yeah. Because there needs to be more like pop-up rental kitchens,
like incubator spaces.
Yeah, man. Because it's like these guys doing pop-ups, and it's like, again, they get the people react to them in that way. Yeah. Like they're like, oh, well, we don't take you seriously. But maybe in this space, it's like, okay, well, this guy, Jon Yao, says it's cool. Yeah. Like he says it's cool if this guy cooks there. So maybe it's worth. Yeah. So
it's just hard to also like try to find like a cultivated generation, because nobody really believed in us when we first started, so we always try to believe in everybody that comes to work here that would want to like have the same dreams as us and everything like that. So.
But that circles back to what we were saying about being naive, right?
Yeah.
Like at the time I was just like, well, so what if you hate us, I guess.
I'd be like, it's okay.
It's
like,
okay.
we would, either me or John would just get mad at something and be like, it's okay. And we're just like, no, it's not okay.
Now tell me this: when people weren't happy with shit, were you comping it?
Oh yeah, we did a lot of comping
Yeah,
at first,
like
unnecessarily.
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
people
Yeah.
were just like, I'm not feeling this. I'm like, take it, just
no,
leave.
we're sorry.
Just don't come back.
have it
Just,
for-
just
yeah.
bye.
It was just one of those things where it's because we didn't have like a PR team. We didn't have any sort of team. It was literally just me and John running the show. We were scared of like bad Yelp reviews. We were scared of like a bad review like in any sort of newspaper or article or anything like that. So
How did you guys deal with, I'm sure when you work together, right, you have issues sometimes. Mm-hmm. Is there any of that? Does that have it?
No.
Or do you guys get along so well that it's like, what are you talking
we're
about?
really easy.
yeah, we're actually pretty easy to get along with. We
Well, there's no
fight
ego.
or anything. Yeah.
And that's, that's the key.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to the entire story so far, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have
No ego.
I do not. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, we have imposter syndrome.
And how did once you start getting popular and you start getting all this publication, again, imposter syndrome, did it feel that way? Did it feel like I don't deserve this? I what's happening?
In the beginning, I was just like, well, I'm just making do with the knowledge I have, right? So I'm like, if people write nice things about him, I'm like, fuck, maybe I don't deserve this. But there was maybe like a year and a half in where I'm like, you know what, like I need to work as hard in seeking out knowledge as I did back when I started.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I like just consume like any sort of like media, books. Like I'm that type of person. Like I'll geek out on anything. So I'm just like, I'm working twice as hard as other people. I have to keep getting better. Mm-hmm. So I'm like actively trying to get better. So at a certain point, maybe like 2-3 years in, I'm comfortable. I'm not completely comfortable, but I feel like, yeah, like I have to raise the standard and levels of this restaurant to what people are writing about us.
Yeah.
And there's like, I think when we had the Jonathan Gold review, it was a reality check, right? We had a not so favorable. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Neutral,
it was a very neutral thing, and I think we were just developing our point of view at that point. And it wasn't like we were trying to do crazy things. We weren't like spherifying like Shaoxing wine or like crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like we were just doing things that felt natural to me, like that felt natural to like Nikki's like style of service.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to do crazy things. It was food I grew up with, but it was a reality check because he was pretty much like, I don't get why this place is popular.
And we were like, oh, jeez.
And
did he say that to you?
He didn't really say that. It was just like a very neutral, like, oh, they use this. They use like more stating everything they ate rather than, you know what I mean? Like trying to.
And then I had this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, it was a good review, but then like in our hearts, we're like,
no, but there was a part where he like pretty much basically said, I don't know why this is popular.
Yeah.
And it kind of like corrected your course because you're like, okay, I have to hone in on like our identity as a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I have to get better. So it was like that point, like everything ramped up exponentially. I try to make it like a serious point. Like we have to get better.
Yeah.
We have to refine everything that we do.
How did?
Because it felt like a movie, right? Like you're like, okay, we open, we get a write up, and we're booked out for. I'm like, this is not like fucking Ratatouille. Dude. Like, this shit has to happen.
This is not Ratatouille.
Like it hit this moment where like everything like was like. Someone's like, yeah, this is good. And someone's like, no, it's fucking good. And someone's like, this is fucking amazing. And it just kept ramping up to that review. And like, it kind of took us down.
Yeah.
But like I said, like, we're so naive and like, we're like too stupid to realize like, oh, like, that's a pretty big knock on us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we weren't really down about it. We were just like, okay. But this is what I like about our relationship, right? Like, if we have something like that, even if it's a Yelp review, we're like doubling down.
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
We got to get better.
Even if it's not like an article, if it's anything, it's literally like if it's a 3-star Yelp review, we'll like.
If it's a 3-star Yelp review from someone with like 12 reviews, like we're pissed.
Yeah.
We're like, we got to get better because we're not pissed in that. Oh, we're coming after this motherfucker.
Yeah.
We're pissed like, oh yeah, we have to fix ourselves because we're trying to cover as much ground as possible. We're trying to make as many people happy as possible.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what the business is about.
Exactly.
You know? So,
because there's no point cooking for yourself if no
Yeah,
one's gonna
dude.
buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make staff meal for myself.
Yeah, seriously.
You know? Man. So, and then after that Jonathan review, you guys are like, we have to ramp everything up. How does this happen? How are you like walking into your kitchen staff and you're like, we're making everything better, but how? Is it new dishes? Is it better ingredients? Is it the style of cooking?
Man, I didn't think about it until we're talking about it right
Yeah.
now, but I think our first step was, I was telling everyone, I was like, we cannot treat this as just like some place we hang out anymore. This isn't like some place where we're just hanging out all day making food for people. If they're happy, dope. If they're not, like, this is now not a business, but this is like something we're going to take seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things too where before that review, it just felt like
Oh, I'm getting Go ahead, sit down. Sit down.
before that review, we were young and, like what John said, pretty naive in what we were doing. We thought that we were like, the cool new hip restaurant that everybody wanted to come to. And
but we were riding that high. I feel like after the review came, we were like, okay, let's apply rigor. Let's do, because I'm thinking like, oh, there's this thing I want to try, but I don't know if my staff can handle it, or I don't know if our prep schedule can handle it. But I'm just like, you know what? Just from this week on, every week we're just taking it up a notch.
We're doing it regardless of what we think.
And we were also doing that in the front too, where it was like really casual the way that we would like set tables or pour anything or talk to the diners, and we started like just doing the small things like not pouring water from like a pitcher that looks like it's from like a Bennigan's or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even know what Bennigan's
like like taking silverware on trays rather than holding it in our hands at the table, and just like small,
just every week, just
small
one
subtle
thing.
things that changed. Obviously,
how did your staff take to it? Were they like, we're down with this, or were they like, what the fuck? I thought we were chilling.
Well, it filtered out people. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It filtered out a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I felt like when we applied that level of rigor, it also attracts a new type of person.
Exactly. One that wants that.
Which took us to the next level. Because our turnover rate isn't high. Like, we always have core people.
Yeah.
But the people that don't stay long always make room for people that want to be here. So, I remember I told Dara, I was like, dude, let's pretend, because the Michelin Guide wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's pretend we're shooting for 3 Michelin stars.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And like every waking moment, every action that you take inside the restaurant
is towards
I hopefully goal. Not spill over too much in your personal life. I was like, that's for me to do, but maybe not for anyone else.
Yeah.
But I was like, every thing you do will be contributing to getting a Michelin star. Whether it's waking up early, like exercise, whatever. Let's just make this a goal. Because it doesn't matter if we have a star or not, because if we live to that standard in our mind, it's the same thing anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the Michelin star is not an award, right? It's a standard. It's not like you get this one thing, it's like, boom, we got it. It's not a championship ring, right? You have to defend it every year.
Yeah.
So.
That's very true.
Yeah, this was around 2017, 18.
And then 2017, 2018, you guys are like, we're getting a fucking star, right? 2019 rolls around.
We get the star.
Get your star.
But we don't know Michelin's coming at all.
They don't tell you.
They don't tell you.
Now, they call you for sure, right? Before they do this, or they didn't call you?
They didn't call us.
Dude! What?
They didn't call us for anything.
Every single fucking story is like, oh, then they called me. It's like,
they emailed us for like some photos, but it was like
but they were emailing everyone.
Yeah, they were emailing everyone. It was like, just in case, like we want to like pop by, just send us some photos. And then that whole weird thing on Instagram where they would like see everyone's tag photos on their restaurant, and they would like comment being like, just #yes Michelin if we can use this like for our social media or something like that.
Yes.
So that was the only contact that we had with the Michelin Guide when they were like kind of circulating in 2019.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because they invited us to the reveal event too.
Yeah.
But they didn't say it was a reveal event. They were just like, hey, Michelin's coming to all of California.
We're going to the beach,
Why
yeah.
don't you come have this party with us on the
Did you
beach?
go?
Yeah, I went.
Oh, fucking
'Cause I was
right,
like-
you went.
I was like, just in case.
Yeah.
You're like, just in case, give him the star.
Because I
It was like they
Nobody
live
knew-
streamed it and everything.
dude, nobody
Yeah.
knew what it was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
hilarious because everyone's like, dude, are they doing
doing
the fucking
stars?
stars?
And who's there when you show up? Fucking everyone.
Everyone's
Fucking Thomas Keller. Fucking.
Everyone from. I saw Chef Costa out
Yeah,
there.
of course he was.
And this was post potluck.
Yeah.
And then I saw him. I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember I was watching on the live stream and then just like yelling like crazy when I heard Kato.
Because
Yeah.
I went with my dad and May.
yeah.
And then we were like, okay, worst things. If worst comes to worst, we're getting some free food and free
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
leaving.
Whatever, yeah.
And then they started like, all right, we're announcing stars. We're like, what the fuck?
We're like,
And then when they say Kato,
'Cause
what
we're-
the fuck happens to you?
yeah, were we like one of the first ones?
'Cause that's
Because they
literally
did
the
first
culmination-
number one
It's
stars,
in
right?
alphabetical order.
Oh, yeah.
So it was me, my dad, Dave Barron and his wife,
Yeah.
and then May.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm looking for Brandon too. I'm like, where the fuck are you? Where are we sitting together for this? And then my dad's like nudging Dave. He's like, dude, do you think you get 2 or what? I was like, dude, just shut up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were like streaming it on Facebook Live, and when we called it, Tony was at my house at the time. I forgot why. And we were just like, ah! And, like, started
Dude, I was
crying.
frozen. I was shaking.
Yeah, I was
I was like,
That's so
no
cool.
I was
fucking way.
I was freaking out, and then I had people who were like calling me, like being like, "I just saw it on the live stream."
I know. Just fucking sobbing.
just crying.
It was
Dude.
hilarious because they hand out the chef coat, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they tailored everyone but mine. Mine was like a double XL.
I have
like,
a photo that I took. I was like, "Why does it look so big?"
mine was huge. I didn't even wear. I like took it off after. And then whoever was hosting the event, or
like
what's
like
the
MCing.
Michelin director's name? The French gentleman.
I forget, but I know what you're talking about.
But he was like, I heard there's someone super young here.
Oh yeah. And then he was like, "Jon,
And he passed me the
yeah."
mic. I was like, are you fucking... My face, you saw
I
the video.
remember.
My face was just like, what the fuck?
Can we go back and watch? Is this on YouTube? You can go
You know,
back.
I don't
I'm
know
sure
what
it's
it's on.
I
recorded.
don't know because if it was a live stream, so I don't know if it got recorded or not.
Yeah.
But I
Basically,
remember,
like, they walked the mic over to me, and the whole time I'm like, what the fuck?
I remember because I was like, "Oh God, Jon Blade
And they gave me they gave me a mic. I don't know. I forgot what I said. But he was like, how does it feel to get a Michelin star
I think you were just
at
like,
your
"It's
age?
good.
I was
It's
like,
good."
cool.
I remember. I was like, "Ah,
Are
why would I do
you
that?"
the youngest
No.
to get a 1
You're
star?
like the second youngest,
No,
honestly.
I have no idea.
Who's the youngest now? Used to be Chef
Was it-
Costa.
I have no idea.
Wasn't it like some guy in like France or something like that? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. I'm
I
sure
might
there's
have
someone
made that
out
up
there
knows?
now.
immediately.
Fuck. So you get this Michelin star, fucking awesome, right?
then
And
we
now,
got a few covers from that.
Because you have, like, obviously you go to this event, and then you have chefs I admire,
yeah,
chefs I, like,
fucking
go to for
shaking your
informa-
hands and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember when we went up for the picture, and Chef Costa was behind me. He patted me on the back. I was like, I can't.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my god!
I had just had a deal at Meadowwood,
yeah.
and I was like, because I had the book, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
Chef Costa was like my fucking hero.
Yeah.
And then he's behind me after I have that dinner. I was like, oh my gosh,
Just
I
throw
can't
it.
fuck.
Yeah. That's so funny. At this point, right? Honeymoon phase is over. You get back to the restaurant. Is it like, oh shit, now we need to get even better?
Yeah.
It's always like that.
It's
Or
always
was
like-
it what I guess I'm trying to ask is was the trajectory of getting better more aggressive after that? Or was it just like, you know what? We're just going to keep working on one thing a week and
No.
just plug away.
No. I think even before Michelin, like, I kept having these meals. Like I said, we went to Meadowwood.
Yeah.
I had single thread on the same trip. It was just like, who the fuck cares if we get an award or not? We're getting better for ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
we're just gonna, yeah.
Like, how you improve here has a direct correlation with how you improve as a person.
Yeah.
Like, the morals, the lessons, like, the hardships you endure all, like, contribute to how you develop as a human being.
It's kind of like that thing where people say, like, fashion's never finished. Like,
Yeah.
our work ethic here will never, like have a plateau. Like,
Yeah.
we'll always constantly be seeking to get better or do something better or improve on something as a restaurant whole. So I think, yeah, even before the store, we kept constantly trying to, like, make things just a little bit better every single time.
Yeah.
We were never really, I don't know whether or not if it's because we were just never really satisfied with our work, no matter what.
But I
people
know
told us.
post-Michelin star for me personally, I had like a fire in my stomach. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I
Why not
will
2? Why not 3?
No, I was like, I will never let anyone talk shit about us. I will never let anyone
yeah.
feel like we don't deserve this thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're gonna turn it up again.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you want another one?
I
Or do you feel
but-
like you don't give a shit?
Well,
No, I
3.
want 3.
You want that? All right. There you go.
That's why Chef Costa's like a god, right? You're like, dude, what did he get 3 at 32?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
catch up.
I mean, shit's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
And I love the way he talks about it because he's like, it's very humble. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're a G. You're a G. And when that shit happened to the restaurant, R.I.P. I was like, Chef, you just went out like Jimi Hendrix, dog.
No, seriously.
Can nobody take you shit away from you
Yeah.
ever?
Yeah.
Ever. That's it. Your 3 Michelin stars are with you forever.
All
Yeah,
the time.
immortalized.
Forever. So, yeah.
See ya.
I was like, look, man, I know this shit's tragic, but look at the bright side, dude. But, I mean, Ojai, I'm sure, is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Whatever he does is fucking amazing. Yeah, you've been to the Charter Oak. We did the event together. That was right before Kat left
Yeah.
when you guys came up. Literally, like, Kat was like 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I remember because she was
Was she
working.
really?
She was working that night. I was like, yo.
She was on the hearth. I was like, yo.
She got
what?
that glow on her.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I didn't even realize that she didn't even look that bit like pregnant to me.
That's
at
because
all.
that's because her face is like doesn't tell you she's pregnant.
Yeah, I
She's
was gonna
just like,
say, yeah.
oh my god,
Like, oh jeez.
I'm so afraid. So you come back, you turn it up. At this point, do you lose more staff, or are they like, we're fucking in it now? You got a star. Do you have people fucking?
We had a lot of people
resumes.
ask,
Yeah.
To stage,
a lot of
for
resumes.
sure.
Yeah. Was it hard turning people down? Because I hate that too. Like you want to give everyone an opportunity, but you can't.
Yeah,
How does that work?
Yeah, it was just like we would spread ourselves too thin if we took too many stages on. at a
Yeah, for
time.
sure.
But
yeah.
it also felt good because we had people with international backgrounds coming to apply.
Oh, good.
And they stage and they're like, okay, yeah, I want to stay. And I was like, okay, that's good, right? That's like
That means
Yeah.
that means almost as much as getting a star.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're just like they've spent time around the world and they want to stay here,
yeah.
which was good. And then we picked up a few really good people during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't discriminate based on like experience because I'm like, dude, I love people who don't have experience. You're
I
probably
literally didn't have experience,
hungrier,
Yeah.
you're more persistent than other people.
Exactly. That's what.
Like our sous chef right now, Alex, like he's fucking tenacious and he hasn't worked anywhere. He's better than like everyone that applies from like other restaurants.
I was gonna say a lot of us don't have any sort of like experience with restaurants, let alone fine dining.
Honestly, that sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't marred by the ideas that these people thought first,
I think
and
that's
then
the
they're
good
like,
thing
"This
about
is
it."
the way you
Yeah.
should think of this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It limits you, So obviously it worked out because you got your Michelin star
Yeah.
and you're headed up right now. Is there plans for a restaurant group? Is there going to be other restaurants? Like,
We want to. We're like working on it.
yeah.
But it's hard. Like I feel like we're just hitting our stride and like we're like you said, like we're on the way up. We're progressing.
Yeah,
We're, like,
exactly.
it wasn't like it wasn't like a slow burn. Like we were like
We were like going on
We were,
steep
like,
mountains
Yeah.
upwards. The Michelin star helped, but we got in 2019
19.
number 1 on the LA Times 101 list. That in terms of LA like made our reservations like skyrocket through the roof.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people from LA like the Michelin guide coming back was a little bit controversial for like a lot of people in
I
LA.
can see that.
So we got a lot of reservations from the Michelin star, but we got way more from the 101 guide.
Gotcha.
But getting that number 1 was like another target on our back, right? Like you have more people that are like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah,
people are
exactly.
salty.
Dude, everybody fucking hates, bro.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, this is a fucking bomb restaurant. Put some respect on the name out here.
But you know what the thing is? It hurts more because, like, between everyone here, it's not like we hate other people. So we're like, and especially us. Like, I feel like everyone goes out of their way here to be like compassionate.
I think
and
it's
show
just
empathy
because,
and,
I think it's just because some people like to go against the grain when it comes to that, and we've become a little bit popular, over the years, and it's just like, oh, it's just hype. Like nobody cares about Kato, dude. It's just like about hype. It's not even that good.
But people also like expect us to be a certain way.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though we're not.
Yeah.
Like they meet us and they're like, I thought you were like this.
Yeah, like I thought you were more
asshole, and I was like, no, I just don't like talking.
Yeah, like please don't force me to
just
like
a quiet
have a
dude.
conversation with you. Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
People try to put us on this type of like weird imaginative pedestal, and that's not really us.
Yeah. Well,
we're still nice,
but
to everybody.
Especially I feel like we're not even where we want to be, and like I feel like we're still working so hard. It's not like I don't know. I just feel like we get like a lot of undeserved hate sometimes.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That's fine.
You know
Should
what?
we still cry a little?
Everybody just always like wants you to fail.
Yeah,
because they're failing.
For sure.
So at the end of the day, that's what it is, and all the people can go fuck themselves. Like, you guys are going to get better and better, and you're looking for a new space. You know what I mean? Like, the possibilities are endless for you, and those who focus their time spreading negative energy about your doing is like, come on, man.
We just try to put some positivity on.
Yeah, dude.
Sometimes I hear things and I'm like, how does it help you putting us down? It doesn't make your restaurant any more full.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jon Yao, you tell me who they are. I'll punch them right in the fucking face. All right?
You're like, good, have a list.
They're nice guys.
That's a threat going out. Jon Yao won't fucking do it, but I'll do it. All right? I will do it.
David's our anger translator.
I have been there before for many people. Well, I always felt like that guy in the kitchen who I hated when kids that weren't that good got picked on by the kids, by the the lead line cooks who are like, oh, you fucking suck, you'll never be anything. And it's like, why does that make you, why would you do that to this person, And
it's like those things where
because everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
You can give constructive advice, but that person down the line is either going to be really good or really bad. And if he's really bad, that's inconsequential to how you are.
Exactly.
And if he's good, great.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, you worked with him.
Yeah.
You contributed.
A lot of people, I feel like in the industry too, feel like they have to do that because that happened to them, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of
this happened to me. Like I could do it to you. No worries. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But that's a good topic for
What, like
us to talk about, because
the food chain of just like getting
because
fucked up.
we always call this the island of misfit toys, because people go to other kitchens and they get like
just get harassed,
abused, like everything, and they come here and they're like, oh wow, you guys are fucking nice, and you guys joke around all day.
Yeah.
And you guys help each other, like if you need to move something, I'll like help you move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Nikki's taking people like home when they don't have a car. Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
help people move into their apartments as well from here.
There you go.
Yeah. Everyone's just very friendly towards each other. I just actually recently had an old front of house like buy me boba, but she like lives in Portland. She's like, just thinking about you, here's some boba. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you're in Portland right now. How'd you do that?
You never know how you affect people.
Yeah.
And now, John, do you know of any like young kids that you see as like kind of taken under your wing, or you haven't gotten there yet?
I feel like some people come here with that intention, right? They're like, I'm looking for a mentor figure and blah blah blah, and I'm like, sometimes they say it up front, but I'm like, I'm gonna be very candid with you. I'm still working on myself. I can teach you as much as I know now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the one good thing you could probably learn here is like how to break the cycle of abuse and like hatred, and just learn how to be a better person, I guess.
Exactly.
And that carries over into cooking too.
Yeah. Everyone is pretty autonomous when it comes to working here and having a type of work ethic too. So people who are, it's very hard to be a mentor when all of us are literally kind of working ourselves out too and working together to like make this kind of grand idea of a restaurant, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but do you think that at some point you will get there?
I mean, I want to be.
Yeah.
I would love to be that person for somebody.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can try my best. I just think we all try to have positive influences over each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Even like other people, like sometimes I learn so much from just working with or just talking to like that extern we just had.
Yeah.
You just learn a lot.
It's peer mentorship, you know. If you can basically be objective and look at everything in a way where you can learn something from everything, then you're unstoppable. And it seems like that's the culture here.
Yeah.
You know?
Because people in food are often caught in this mindset where it's like, I take this path or I do this recipe and it leads to one thing. But if you can approach life with like a worldview that's multidisciplinary, and really accept that life experiences equate to something, like different branches of like thinking lead to something, I think that kind of openness like makes your worldview like wide, right? Like you're drawing from multiple influences to solve problems, and that's something I really like. Yeah, like we try to think of out of the box situations.
Do you guys do any team building activities? Anything
oh my
like
gosh,
that?
we used to hang out. We all used to hang out like way too much.
we all like the same things, like eating food and watching YouTube like vlogs of dudes that travel to Japan, and like Mikey Chen just just like rating like 7-Eleven like snacks from Japan.
That's so funny.
Everyone has similar interests here, so it's like not hard to get along with other people. But
and,
like, you know how like the work environment, like if you stay at some place in 2 months, you get the vibe. Like,
you
know if you're gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
Also, we play a lot of games together. Like before, when we had like a full staff inside before pandemic, we'd like literally play Heads Up like for lineup, like the game Heads Up.
Yeah, with the phone.
So it was like very team building in a sense.
Because you'd have like a very stiff lecture or like whatever, like a discussion about what went wrong yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you always have to break that up.
Yeah.
Fuck it, it's fucking Danny from Cold again, you know, and then you just have like a sharp break, and you're like, okay, we're gonna do something fun together and team building.
Yeah, that foray into that was one of the first chefs I worked for. He used to make the cooks play baseball or like softball right outside, like wiffle ball.
Oh,
like right outside
before service?
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my god,
that's a lot of time.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Couple runs. I thought you could do it right there in the parking lot.
It's like, I got to shingle more things. I'm behind. Please don't make me play.
And I'm like, first of all, who's out there buying wiffle ball equipment? Okay, those fucking little mats
that's
and the
valuable
cones.
storage space.
That's what I said.
Where are we putting the wiffle balls during service?
Man. So this restaurant is open, what, 5 days a week, 6 days a week?
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Tuesday to Saturday, 5 to 9.
Got you. So Sunday, Monday closed every week. And what are you guys doing on your days off? Just chilling? Do you guys see each other when you're not here?
Time.
Or are you getting better at, like,
we just saw each
being
other
like,
at
get
a
away?
Like two weeks ago.
Yeah, but like not on purpose.
Not on purpose. We were like, oh, what the heck, you here?
Yeah, that's so funny.
We used to hang out a lot more.
Because I used to live with Dara and Tony.
Yeah.
I used to live with two of the sous chefs. So we'd just be stuck in this like small little fucking apartment.
But nowadays, honestly, the pandemic has made me just want to stay inside all the time.
I hear you.
I think I'm starting
It's become easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm definitely more introverted when I'm off work and using all my extroverted time being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I'm at home,
yeah.
Because we used to eat after work a lot.
all the time.
There's Little Osaka down the street, and it's like all late night ramen and everything. We used to go all the time, but
Now our backs hurt all the time.
yeah,
So you're feeling the effects now.
Yeah.
As you're getting a little older.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna put some salumpas on my back and then go to sleep.
I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
I can't
I can't
June.
believe it's been 5 years.
That's so crazy.
Hey, man, most restaurants don't make it past 1 year.
Yeah.
You know? So fucking outstanding.
Honestly,
like, honestly,
it kind of flew by.
from it's probably one of the stories that's different in this world. You know, you didn't grow up like in a restaurant, like cooking in a restaurant, and your parents took a shot in the dark, said, "Hey, let's buy this fucking restaurant."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, you want to be the chef?" And you're like, "All right, yeah, let's do that." It's like, and then,
I don't think they use the word chef.
And then
like,
you
do
fucking
you want to manage this for us?
And then you fucking well, you fucking did it, man, and I'm sure they're so proud, like so fucking proud.
My parents used to bug me all the time. They're like, "When are you going back for law school?"
My parents sometimes still do that to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like,
do they still do it now, or you got that? You're like, all right, shut up about the damn law school.
They don't care anymore.
Yeah, right.
Why not 3?
They're like, I figure as soon as you got the star, your mom's like,
because Michelin is Michelin and fucking Chinese too.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. I've always wondered that.
That's funny. I actually didn't know that either.
All right. Well, thank you, John.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you what, we're definitely going to do another episode.
For sure.
And I'll come visit and eat again.
Yeah.
You had quite the VIPs in here this evening.
Yeah, we had a lot of industry
May
people
Lynn
tonight.
up in here, and then I forget her name, but I did recognize her.
Melissa King.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, let me stop looking at her. I was like,
We
I
had
don't
a
know.
few people actually come up to her during service today.
Yeah, because she's big right now.
Yeah,
she's like
she's-
on Gap commercials.
She's on
and
TV,
stuff. Yeah,
dude. She's on
TV.
fucking.
She's
got
on fire right now.
Yeah, she's fucking blown up.
Yeah.
Good for her, man.
Yeah,
good for her.
But she's
Fuck
from
yeah.
around the same area that we are too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you see, it's like it's a different world now where we can look at her and say, "Good for her."
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Before it was just like, "Oh well,
Yeah,
she
fuck
don't.
her. She doesn't deserve
She
it.
didn't deserve it."
This
It's
person
like,
doesn't deserve
you
it.
know,
Blah, blah, blah.
like, who the fuck are we to say that shit about
Yeah.
anybody?
Yeah.
God damn.
It's so hard to be sassy. It's too tiring to be sassy.
I hear you. All right. Well, I'm gonna have you state your name and your position here, just because we never introduced you properly.
She just randomly popped in.
People are like, "Who is this lady?" I don't
This
know.
is bitch. Nikki. My name's Nikki Reginaldo. I'm the general manager at Kato Restaurant for the past 4 years, 4.5 years.
4.5 years. Damn. So that's it, baby. Sucio Talk, episode 17. Jon Yao. This is gonna be a classic episode out here. You're gonna be hearing about this shit in 10 years. All right. Until next time, everyone out there, thank you very much. Signing off. Peace.